I have a better foundation now. You know, my coach, she came in and she did such a great job, and she did a really good job at trying to explain, how you use it. So it helps me understand better. And then that's where I start switching vocabulary with the
Mm.
phrases that I was learning to, no, it's been great. And so I'm very happy. The whole course from start to finish, it's been good from our first conversation to our final conversation. Yeah, very happy.
Feel like learning Japanese is too damn hard for you? Stop slaving away at grammar, words, and spelling. Now there's a better way to learn how to speak Japanese like a normal guy. Welcome to Terumi's podcast. Let's learn Japanese in just 2 months with Terumi's learning method.
I had so much training in the first level. We
Yeah,
learned so many things.
mhm.
My coach, awesome. She did
Thank
great
you.
job. So she gave me so many building block foundation, right? So now it's a matter of learning more vocabulary to
Mm-hmm.
learn to use with the phrases that she taught me. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now. So I've been kind
Amazing.
of building up my list of vocabulary, trying
Mm-hmm.
to learn more things, trying to build better sentences,
Mm-hmm.
and then trying my conversation with some of my Japanese friends. So when they're not laughing at me, I just try to get some good feedback from them. But
Amazing.
it's my ultimate goal. Let's see. Nihon ikitai desu, right?
Hmm.
But for now, it's just building up regular conversation
Yeah.
and just doing simple things like how was the weather or how are you feeling or how are
Mm-hmm.
your parents. So that's the goal right now. And I think
Amazing.
eventually, once I get better, more proficient in that, then I can advance into something more so, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
think if I go to second level, I'm going to overwhelm myself because I know myself good enough. I'm going to overwhelm myself and it'd be a little bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I think with what I've learned from this course has given me a much better understanding of communicating. It just there was a lot of things that I knew from book knowledge, right? Passive, but it's just that actual communicating and not sounding like the textbook. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, I'm very happy. I'm in a good place right now.
Amazing. I'm really glad to hear because I remember because when I met you, like you did a lot of book study and it's really about like, being confident to talk to people and you actually worry about, like is it like sounded rude or, is it too like book style? Is it natural or unnatural? So you worry about those things a lot, I remember. And right now,
Yeah,
more, you can really genuinely having, fun to, try to communicate, try to reach people. So try
right.
to even pronounce it, try to even, say the phrases. That's actually amazing.
Yeah, no, it's been a good course and it definitely helped improve my beginning communication skills.
Mm,
So I get because like I said, and like we talked about before, I had a lot of book knowledge before.
mm,
And it's but not knowing how to correctly present it
mm,
without sounding too robotic or
mm,
sounding like a 2-year-old.
mm.
But and I mean it's still going to be a work in progress. But at least I have a better foundation now. And that's where, my coach, she came in and she did such a great job, answered all the questions because with me, I'm always analytical. So I would ask
Mm.
her, okay, why is it this way and not that way? And she did a really good job at trying to explain, how you use it. So it helps me understand better. And then that's where I start switching vocabulary with the
Mm.
phrases that I was learning to make sure I was understanding what I was actually saying. So yeah, no, it's been great. And so I'm very happy.
Amazing. I'm really glad to hear. And Eric-san, you see, a lot of people like Japanese culture or anime but it's being fluent, it's totally different, thing. It's very special skill. They know Japan doesn't mean they can speak Japanese. So you can definitely keep it up. You don't know, like maybe you have opportunity to even work with Japanese people. It's really special skill. I always say being a doctor is easier than learning Japanese.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like that. I actually was looking at some a video last night regarding kanji and kind of learning a little bit more how to recognize the radicals, strokes, and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. But I mean, eventually I got to get to that point. And that's
Mm-hmm.
one thing I did appreciate with my coach. When we did our documents, she included kanji, which actually inadvertently helped me memorize,
Mm-hmm.
things like for Kyo,
Mm-hmm.
Ima, things like that, where I was recognizing the kanji without even trying to. So that kind of really helped
Mm-hmm.
um, with my reading ability. Plus, a lot of times I could understand what she was saying. It's just the difficulty for me is always responding back because
Mm-hmm.
I tend to second guess myself.
Mm.
Um, and so she told me many times I had it right the first time, but for some reason something didn't sound right to my own head. So I ended
Mm.
up correcting myself incorrectly. But I'm working on that.
Amazing, amazing. And then each, sentences, everything, it's just she recorded her voice. So, even you finish the Miss Master course, you can still keep it up, how you can make sound it like more natural pronunciation or tonality. And because it's me myself, really I practice the tonality in English because it's, for example, in Japanese is 日本人です。よろしくお願いします。So like I am Japanese. Thank you for meeting me. And versus like English is hey, nice to meet you. It's a totally different tonality. So that's
Correct.
actually you can still keep it working on your pronunciation, your tonality, how you can make it sound like more natural Japanese. Yeah. Those actually things are definitely muscle memory. You need to repeat it many times to get used to pronounce it beautifully and correctly.
Correct.
Mm.
Yeah, so sometimes I actually talk to my dog.
That's good.
So it's just to make sure that I'm remembering the phrases. So maybe after a
Yeah.
couple days, I'll try to refresh it on my mind to make sure I'm not
Mhm.
forgetting the pronunciation of a phrase. So trying to make opportunities for myself when I can, but this is something that I do plan to keep moving forward with because it's just something I think I told you before when we first met. I had worked for a Japanese company for 10 years. So
Yeah.
I'd always enjoyed Japanese culture, the
Mm.
language, everything else. But after a certain amount of time, when I was no longer there, I just never had a chance to use it anymore
Mm.
and lost a lot of it. But now with this, a lot of things do come back. And so I plan not to lose it again. And
Mhm.
because ultimately, I want to go to Japan and I want to be able to communicate with people without them
Mhm.
thinking I'm some, rude foreigner coming over there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's there are still a lot of actually opportunity. Some people even decided to retire in Japan and they made a lot of friends. There are a lot of actually real estate opportunity in Japan. In the long term, you can actually even think about like visiting Japan, of course, but also maybe you can actually have a life in Japan, after the retirement. Some people actually do that. So Japan is much cheaper than States and much safer than the States. So some people
Absolutely.
do that. So, now you can speak Japanese. You can take a lot of opportunity too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I see the potential.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Right. So I'm so glad to hear. And then, in the level 2, we have even the how to visit real estate or even how to go to the doctor. And it's a really situational exercises. Even we have the student like David, he's living in the States, but also he coming to Japan quite often. So he's taking level now 3 actually. And in the future, when you see that this, oh, I'm really plan to go to Japan, you can actually come back in level 2 and then you can actually really practice the situation, like how to visit like even the real estate, how to even visit like a hotel to really make a reservation, or a lot of actually situational training in the level 2, so you can think about it.
Actually, I have. So like I said, my goal right now, I learned so much in level 1 that there's a lot of it, I kind of forgotten. So I still have to go back, and there's still a lot of practice I need to do. But for myself, once I know I'm ready to make that transition level 2, I definitely will be coming back to you guys, because that method of training really did help a lot. Like I said, I have a lot of book knowledge, but there's only so much you can do with that. It's You need to be able to speak in a way that people are going to understand you without sounding weird. But no, that's one thing I would do. I would actually come back to you guys, because this method of training definitely helped me a lot. The whole course does. It's from start to finish. It's been good from our first conversation to our final conversation. So, and everything in between. So yeah, very happy.
Thank you, Eric-san.
Thank you so much for
Amazing.
everything.
Thank you so much, Eric-san. Alright, so じゃあ
Okay.
また会いましょう。See you
またね。
again.
Are you expat? Live in Japan? You started living in Japan, you're super excited to communicate with locals. You can enjoy traveling, meeting people. And now you start using this textbook and you feel like, wow, that's so many. Elementary school textbook, another elementary school textbook, and how many hours should you study? Let's think one more time. In order to communicate like a normal guy, you can do everything in the basic everyday life. Should you finish all those textbooks? Otherwise, you won't understand what they're talking. You cannot express yourself, anything. First of all, there are always 2 ways to learn languages. One is documentational language. The other one is conversational language. It's like, once upon a time, grandmother and grandfather are living somewhere. Or, hey, what's up? How's it going? Which is conversational. What is the most effective way to learn how to speak Japanese? Textbooks can't talk to you, so you cannot improve your listening skill and pronunciation, how to communicate. So why Japanese children can speak Japanese so quickly? Because they are learning conversational Japanese. The good news is, in Japan Language Factory, we have a specific learning structure to improve your conversational Japanese. So you can join the conversation, you can understand what they're talking, you can respond quickly, and express what you are thinking. If you want to be able to speak Japanese as soon as possible, join our free consultation to figure out what is the fastest way to start speaking Japanese.